Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks. With the Spain News Update, we'll have a look at some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the press here in Spain, and we'll also take a look at some comments that have been left on the channel recently by viewers. Before I begin, a huge thanks to all of the people that have supported the channel in recent times, whether it's by buying me a coffee through the Super Thanks option on YouTube, longer term supporters on Patreon, and the channel members of this YouTube channel. Thank you very much for that support. Now, straight into the news. And as we know, Spain currently in the middle of a migration crisis. Thousands of people have come from countries in Africa to places like the Canary Islands in 2024, and it has put huge strain on resources in places like the Canary Islands. One of the big issues is what to do with unaccompanied minors, that is, people that come to Spain under the age of 18, no parents, no family members here with them, and of course they become wards of the state. And the government is now trying to move thousands of these unaccompanied minors from the Canary Islands to mainland Spain, but it's not that easy because there is political opposition in some parts of the country. But the other day an agreement was reached, and as we can read here, all Partido Popular run communities in Spain accept the distribution of immigrant children. Only Catalonia abandoned Sanchez. The majority of Spain's autonomous communities accept the reception of 347 unaccompanied immigrant minors from the Canary Islands and Ceuta as established in the quota agreed for this year. All the PP communities voted in favour of the distribution. Only Catalonia abstained. It is a minimal response to solve the problem of saturation that the islands and the autonomous city are experiencing, and the easiest point of resolution is what was debated yesterday at the sectoral conference on children and youth in Santa Cruz de Tenerife. What is not yet on the table for agreement is the reform of the law on foreigners, which aims to establish an obligatory model for the distribution of minors once the saturated territories reach 150% of their reception capacity. So there we go, 347 migrant minors heading to the rest of Spain, all of the autonomous communities except Catalonia. They don't want any of these kids there. The Partido Popular has accepted to take some of these children in the autonomous communities that they are in control of, for example, the Valencian community and Murcia, to name two, but of course that has led to a split with Vox. The coalition has broken in those autonomous communities as a result of this. So interesting times we are living here in Spain as far as illegal or irregular immigration is concerned. Second piece of news now, and as we know, the San Fermin festival currently underway in the city of Pamplona up there in the north of Spain. Every day on TV here we see the images of bulls chasing people down the streets of Pamplona, but what we don't see is the other side of that festival, the dark side of that festival, if you like. And as we can read here, the other side of the San Fermin festival, more than 1,000 fines and 100 arrests. The fiestas of San Fermin are possibly the best known fiestas in the whole of Spain. The running of the bulls in Pamplona during these days is a national jewel. However, during these days there are also very complicated situations for the state security forces to maintain security on the streets during these fiestas. Pamplona is a lawless city during San Fermin, says one of the thousands of people who walk the streets of the city. The reality is not like this. During the fiestas, there have already been 1,051 complaints and 128 arrests. Sanctions are given for example, urinating in the street or bathing in the street, which is fined up to 300 euros. In hospitality, despite being able to botellón or street drink, bars must control their customers so that they are not in the street with a glass of alcohol. That would mean a fine for the premises, not for the individual. So the other side of the San Fermin festival, more than 1,000 fines handed out and more than 100 arrests. And according to one partygoer, Pamplona is a lawless city during that festival. And the third and final piece of news today related to the hatred that has popped up from some Spaniards towards tourism in recent times here. And one opinion piece recently published in the press here is highlighting just how important tourism is for this country. As we can read here, tourism-phobia. tourism was the main driver of economic growth in Spain in 2023. In relative figures, it accounted for 12.8% of GDP. In absolute figures, it was 186.5 billion euros. According to Excel Tour, the Association of Large Tourism Companies, tourism alone accounts for 70.8% of the real growth of the Spanish economy. Without tourism, Spain would not have grown by 2.4%, but by 0.8%. Tourism has also been a major generator of employment, 95,224 more jobs than in 2022. Spain is the leading tourist power in Europe and the second in the world. For this year, 2024, Spain is expected to break all records and to exceed 13% of GDP and 200 billion euros. To give us an idea of the importance of tourism in the Spanish economy, the industry represents 16.9% of GDP. Whether we like it or not, the tourism sector has traditionally been one of the fundamental pillars of the Spanish economy, generating employment, wealth, and development opportunities. Nobody, but nobody in their right mind would want to put an end to this source of wealth that is tourism. So there we go, and that article putting into perspective just how important tourism is for this country. And nobody in their right mind, except a few in Barcelona, would want to put an end to this industry. And let's face it, if Spain didn't have this industry, down the gurgler fairly quickly the country would go. But again, just my opinion. Now let's have a look at some comments that have been left on the channel recently. One here from Gold Geologist. Wow, Stu, I am shocked to learn that eggs are fried in such a large amount of olive oil. Yeah, Gold Geologist, thanks for the comment. And I mentioned this in yesterday's live stream that when people fry eggs here in Spain, usually they do it in about this much olive oil. Unlike where I come from in Australia, where a lot of people would fry an egg with just a drop or two of that liquid gold. But here, no, the egg is absolutely drowning in the stuff. And of course, with the current price of olive oil, frying an egg or two can be quite expensive. One here from Michael. You can see why countries like North Korea and China don't want democracy. Just too complicated. Thank you, Stu, for keeping us updated. Good job. Yeah, Michael, thanks for the comment. And although I don't have experience in either of the two countries that you mentioned there, North Korea or China, I reckon they would be a lot less complicated than here in Spain, for example. In North Korea, it seems that there's only one person taking all the decisions, and if you don't like those decisions, bad luck. And in China, fairly similar. If you don't like what the government is doing, again, bad luck. And if you happen to complain or become a dissident, you might not be around for very long. One here from UFOs. I really don't understand what's the big deal with Barcelona. I grew up in Spain and that's one city I don't care to visit again. There are plenty of other nice cities to enjoy in Spain besides crowded, expensive and pickpocket-ridden Barcelona. Yeah, UFOs, thanks for the comment, and clearly you are not a fan of Barcelona. And as we have seen in the comment section on this channel in recent times, many people share your opinion. So why has Barcelona become so popular? That is the question that I sometimes struggle to answer. Is it because they had the Olympics back in the year 1992? Is that the reason the city is so popular? Is it because it's a Mediterranean paradise for some? I've got no idea, but obviously some people love Barcelona, but lots of people, as I said, don't like the city at all. One here from George. Big cities tend to be more stressful. Cars, smoke, noise, high temperatures on the asphalt, etc. I understand that people in their 20s are attracted to them, but I can't conceive vacationing in a big city unless you live in a very quiet area and you want to change. People who live in big cities like Madrid tend to look for quieter places with more nature, like the north of Spain. Yeah, George, thanks for the comment. And this is a topic that popped up in yesterday's live stream. I think it was. Somebody mentioned that they spent some time recently in Madrid and absolutely loved the city, and I said that Madrid is a great city for a holiday, but it's a different thing when it comes to living here. And when it comes to vacationing or having a holiday in a big city like Madrid, which has become very popular in recent times, lots of people flocking to cities for their holidays, I reckon it's okay for a couple of days, maybe 3, maybe 4, but any longer than that, no thank you. Give me a quiet place where I can hear birds singing and preferably the sound of of the ocean, and I'm happy. One here from Galaxian: I used to visit Madrid twice a year up until last year. As I'm sure you can attest, one of the nicest things to do in most European cities, to be honest, is to sit on the terraces by the plazas and enjoy a nice drink and maybe a little tapas al fresco. But last year we made the decision that our Spanish breaks are no more. It's now literally impossible to enjoy an afternoon al fresco without constantly being solicited by street beggars and those trying to sell you what is essentially junk. This year I've switched to Poland for city breaks, no beggars, no aggressive street vendors, and to be honest, it's quite a bit cheaper. Sorry, Spain Speaks, it breaks my heart to arrive at this decision. Yeah, Galaxian, thanks for the comment, and I can understand that you are fed up of the constant harassment by beggars and people trying to sell you things when you're sitting down at one of the many plazas here in Madrid trying to have a quiet drink and something to eat. It is, as you say, quite annoying. I think that people that go to these popular spots here in Spain, whether it be in Madrid or any other city for that matter, shouldn't have to put up with this type of harassment. Because we're not talking about only one person coming to your table and begging you for money. Sometimes it can happen 3, 4, maybe 5 times in a sitting. And let's be honest, it's enough to put anybody off sitting outside having a drink. So good luck with Poland and enjoy your times there. And the final comment here from Ghost Rabbit: just think how wonderful all those seaside towns in the UK would be if we spent our billions at home. Yeah, Ghost Rabbit, thanks for the comment. And yes, you can only imagine how wonderful those seaside resorts in the UK would be if people in your country decided to spend their hard-earned pounds at home rather than spend them abroad in places like Spain. And how wonderful those seaside resorts would be if you had that one key ingredient that unfortunately you don't have in the UK: good weather. So keep on dreaming and maybe one day your wish will come true, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. On that note, I'm going to wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you have anything to add to the conversation today, the comment section is the place for you. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego from sunny Spain.